I don't know actually what people mean by black and white, because like I say, I don't recognize it. Your DNA doesn't say that you're black or white.
Thank
Your,
you.
your look doesn't say that you're black or white, and like my family, all my children are a mix, and they cannot say they are black or white. And possibly, like if they were in South Africa, apartheid area, they would say, anytime you have even in the UK now, actually, if you look like not so clear, what you call it, your skin color, then you deem to be black. And so all our children are called black, but they're not. You understand? And it's not only a matter of color, it's also their behavior, because we are a mix. And I know that I'm not a typical French for a start, because my parents were not typical French. But now even worse, because I speak French with a Nigerian accent, because I stayed.
that is beautiful.
So one time somebody in France told me, "Are you French?" I said, "Are you joking?" And he said, the way you are speaking, I was thinking it was ridiculous. Now, the problem is, how do you call somebody white or black? What is it? And it's not, where does it stop? Like I'm saying, like with a mixed race, you are, even my children, there's not one that is the same color as the other. Just imagine that. It's not, we are not in painting here, it's the reality. See, my first boy was, his hair here was Nigerian. His hair at the back was completely like French. See, that was his reality. And they are just different. Even their body build is different. My last child is having a big bottom, like many people in in Nigeria. Not like, so these things are not. They're just like, they are not real. It's like something you would stick on your face and call it this or call it that. And it's a simplification of people. It's a denying of identity, because who are you? That's the question, And those people that are saying they are Afro, I don't want really to discuss America, because I don't know that country. I find it very bizarre, and I cannot understand. So I don't want to talk about it. But to me, it's like when I was in Nigeria, I would call myself Nigerian, sure. And people could have said, I know you're not, because your nose is like that. They never said that. And why should people say that? Looking at your features or your color and trying to put you in a box. They are not, like when we came first into the UK, to England, there was a form. You fill a form for most things. And they call it, I forgot what, and ethnic
origin.
Something, yeah. And then at first, there was only black and white. Then people were saying, so they were adding a tick and saying neither or something. Then they became more refined. So are you black African, black British, black West Indies, white British, white other? So and somebody
but it's really quite pathetic, no? In that it doesn't. Okay, now if you up until recently, the word Black Africa is something that I hardly ever use. The reason is that I cannot imagine myself being described with a color. A color doesn't explain whom I am, to start with. And secondly, I am not really black in the real sense of it.
Yeah.
I know what is black. I can pick up the color. If you take a picture of me against a black background, I will still show, which means I'm not black.
See white.
So, so I don't know why, but is it possible that it is there because some people are benefiting from this oversimplification of identity? That is why we are using it.
I think that people that use that like, okay, continue with the examples. So in South Africa, there are many people that are South Africans, genuine, and they are white, so-called. So how would you say, oh, you're not African because, so that's a problem. Like, for example, one time I was told during Christmas time, oh, there are students, foreign students that are feeling lonely, they are away from home. Would you house one for, Christmas Day? I said, sure, sure. And they told me, okay, we are going to send a student from, forgot where it was, one of the Southern African countries. And then when she came, I thought she was a so-called black, and she was pure white. And we started chatting, and it was very interesting. She was really, from that country. And she said that her ancestors were German. So you see that these things are not accurate. It's not accurate. It's just like, you see, people do that. Like, you go to an interview with a suit, three-piece suit. Another person comes with a jogging suit. You know that the one in three-piece suit will be taken because they assume that that one is more refined, more qualified. It's just a suit. Yeah. And people cannot understand. One time they invited me to talk to someone. It was a group of Nigerian Igbos, Catholics in London. So I came and people were gobsmacked. They were opening their mouth. Are you sure she's a professor? Because I don't know how to dress, yeah? So, there is a proverb in France that said that the dress doesn't make the monk. What you look like is not the real thing. And the people that are using that, being color or any other simplification, to my mind, are dishonest, but they may not know. It is usually unconscious, but they are not honest. If they were really honest, they would have thought about the whole thing. So basically, for me, as a viewpoint in my life, every bad stuff starts with ignorance, be it from the police, be it from the Black Lives, be it from anywhere. Ignorance is a killer. So you should come to someone and try to find out who is that stranger, who is that person, why did she or he come to your town, to your neighborhood. Like, for example, for many years, my husband was thought to be a West Indian here in our street because people had never seen a Nigerian around. So they assumed that he was a West Indian until one day he told them, oh, actually, I'm coming from Nigeria. They said, oh, wow. So you see, we should, my attitude is stop putting people into boxes. Don't call them, disabled, this, that, color, whatever, the way you dress, everything. At Nsukka, the first time I went to see my students as a new lecturer, I was in my office and somebody in the corridor, some other students were talking, and somebody said, who is that person that is in the office there? And the other one said, oh, it's a lecturer. I said, a lecturer? Because I was dressing for them, I didn't know, but I was dressing like a servant. I had very simple shoes. I was having a small dress, but very, very ordinary. The way that servants were dressing with, that was my choice. I discovered later that my fellow lecturers were gorgeously dressed with, fabric that were costly and so on and so forth. And even the pattern of their
dresses.
Their dresses told people this is a lecturer. And I didn't know, So I didn't care afterward. I said, well, they will discover me by the real thing is what is inside.
What they're going to deliver.